The silence at Blackridge. They always said no one left Blackridge Asylum alive. Not really. The lucky ones died inside. The others changed. Blackridge sat on a hill, its iron gates rusted shut since the state shut it down in 1987. Only a skeleton staff remained to manage the untransferable patients, the ones no other hospital wanted. Among them was Elias Crane, patient number 213, no family, no visitors, a mind fractured by years of electroshock and isolation. He was known for his silence, never spoke, never slept. But he listened, always listened. Nurse Harper said she once found him standing at the end of the hall, staring at the locked exit door, whispering, "The walls are breathing. They want out too." They tightened security after that, or so they thought. The night of the blackout. It started with the storm. Thunder rolled over the asylum like cannon fire. The power flickered once, twice, and then the lights went out. In the dark, the halls came alive. Footsteps echoed where no one walked. Doors creaked open on their own. When the generator kicked in, half the security monitors were dead. The rest showed static, except for one. Camera 4, hallway C. Elias Crane was gone. His room door hung open, hinges twisted, and on the wall, written in something dark and wet, were 3 words: "Set them free." Dr. Lorne, the night supervisor, gathered what staff he could. They searched every floor, every cell, every shadow. But they didn't notice that the alarm system had been cut. By the time they realized, it was too late. Nurse Harper's body was found first, in the laundry chute, eyes wide open, face pale as porcelain. Orderly Mason next, slumped in the elevator shaft. Each time the security lights flickered, and Elias's whisper echoed faintly over the intercom. "It's not me. It's them." By 2 a.m., the rain had turned to fog. The kind that swallowed sound and blurred shapes into ghosts. Dr. Lorne locked himself in his office, dialing for help. The phone lines were dead. That's when the emergency broadcast system clicked on. A voice, low, monotone, filled the speakers. "Attention! All patients have been released. Please proceed to the exits." It was Elias's voice. He had the PA system. The remaining staff fled toward the main doors, but they wouldn't budge. Someone had welded them shut from the outside. Behind them, the sound of slow, dragging footsteps echoed through the hall. Metal scraping against tile. A sound that grew louder, closer, then silence. And from the darkness, "Doctor, you said we could leave." By dawn, the police arrived. They found the gates forced open and the asylum empty. Every patient gone, every staff member dead. All except one. In the woods beyond the asylum, they discovered Dr. Lorne, shivering, covered in mud, eyes unfocused. He kept muttering. He opened the walls. He let them through. When they searched the hospital records, something didn't add up. There was no file for a patient number 213. No Elias Crane listed anywhere. Every photo, every chart, every document, gone, as if he had never existed. But in the final security footage, before the power died, investigators saw something chilling. A man in a patient's gown standing by the main gate, whispering to someone off camera. Then, the figure stepped aside, and another figure walked out. Tall, featureless, shadow-like. The timestamp read 2:13 a.m. A week later, Blackridge Asylum was demolished. But truckers driving past the site at night swear they still hear something. Faint voices over their CB radios. a static-laced whisper that repeats the same phrase over and over. Set them free. And sometimes, if you listen closely, you can hear the sound of footsteps following the signal. No one knows where Elias Crane went. But every year, on the anniversary of the blackout, a new patient file appears in nearby hospitals. Patient number 213. No name, no history. Just one handwritten note on the front. He listens. It had been 6 months since the Blackridge Asylum incident. The news called it a mass escape. The police called it a cover-up. The survivors, what few there were, called it something else. A haunting that walked on 2 legs. Detective Mara Vance didn't believe in ghosts. She'd seen plenty of horror in her years on the force, real monsters made of flesh and motive. But when a box of unmarked tapes arrived at her desk, postmarked from a ghost town 2 states away, she started to question everything. The return address was smudged, but one word was clear: Blackridge. Inside were 7 VHS tapes, labeled by hand in black marker. Session 1 through Session 7, and a single note written on yellowed asylum stationery. He's still listening. The first tape crackled to life on her old VCR, dated 1985. Dr. Lorne appeared on screen, younger, confident, wearing the same white coat found near the crime scene. He sat across from a patient, face hidden in shadow. The file on the table read number 213, Elias Crane. Dr. Lorne's voice was calm. "Tell me what you hear, Elias." The patient tilted his head, eyes glassy. "Not what, doctor?" "Who? They're under the floors." A faint knocking echoed on the recording, rhythmic, deliberate. Then silence. Tape 2 showed the same session weeks later. The knocking was louder now. Elias whispered, "They said the walls aren't holding them back anymore." The third tape ended abruptly, the lights in the room flickering before the screen turned to static. But it was tape 5 that chilled Mara to her core. The date stamp was August 12th, 1987, the night of the blackout. The camera shook violently. Dr. Lorne was shouting. Behind him, shadows moved along the walls like smoke forming human shapes. Elias turned to the lens, directly, knowingly, and whispered, "You're next to listen." The screen went black. And then, in a whisper not on tape but in her own apartment, Mara heard it too. Set them free. The next morning, Mara brought the tapes to the station. But when she tried to show her partner, every single one was blank. Not erased, just pure static. No audio. No visuals. Her partner laughed it off as stress. "You've been at this too long, Vance." But when she replayed one tape at home that night, the footage was back. Only now, she was in it. Her reflection appeared in the glass window of the interview room, standing behind Dr. Lorne, watching Elias. Elias smiled in the tape. "You're hearing them now, aren't you?" The sound of knocking filled her apartment, from the walls, from the vents, from under the floor. Mara drove to what was left of Blackridge Asylum. The main building was gone, demolished, overgrown with weeds and ash. But something still stood. The basement levels, sealed off by concrete slabs and rusted steel doors. She pried one open and descended. The air was damp, cold, heavy with mildew and something else. Breathing. Her flashlight flickered. On the wall, written in faded brown, were dozens of handprints. Beneath them, words scratched into the plaster. "Listen." Her radio hissed with static. Then a voice, faint, distant, came through. "Detective Vance, you shouldn't have come back." Dr. Lorne's voice, impossible. The lights burst, plunging her into darkness. Footsteps surrounded her. A whisper brushed her ear. He opened the walls. When she shone her light again, Elias Crane stood before her. The same patient from the tapes. Unchanged, not aged a day. He reached out a hand, palm covered in soot. "They're free now," he said. "And they need someone to listen." Then everything went black. 2 weeks later, officers found Mara's patrol car abandoned near the Blackridge ruins. Inside was her badge, her gun, and a single VHS tape. It was labeled Session 8, Detective Vance. No one's ever seen what's on it. Every time investigators try to play the tape, all they hear is static until the room grows quiet and the knocking begins again. And sometimes, late at night, dispatch radios pick up a faint female voice whispering through the static. "He's still listening,"